Do you want to lecture us about feminism deep as a female? I want to take it away from Note and give it to you.
Yeah, I would. I mean, I've already stated the origin of feminism. And if you ask me, feminism has helped men and it's helped women also, because now men have less pressure. I mean, if we both have equal pay, if I'm getting paid 50,000 and Nats is getting paid 50,000 and we are in the same household, that's less pressure for him, because men always complain about, being providers and having to. He wants to interject, and I hope he keeps quiet. So when
I will interject. She's lying. Just because a woman earns 50,000 and a man makes 50,000 as well, doesn't mean she doesn't want him to provide. Women literally want to make their money and save it. The saying, "My money is our money and my money is my money." No, they say the guy's money is our money and her money is her money is literally a saying women say all the time. So just because they make the same doesn't mean she wants the man to, doesn't mean she wants to go 50-50. So she's lying. She's already lying. And we just started.
If we have two pays in a household, that makes it makes life really better for both the men and the female. So I really don't understand, this anti-feminism movement against men, because that men have against women, because at the end of the day, feminism doesn't just help women, it also helps men and helps the society as well. Because if we're given access to equal rights, if women have rights to own properties, right, and to do all of these things, then we have a situation where women are not dependent on men and men have less pressure. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Okay. Nota.
So I think that, we forget about the origins of the actual feminist movement.
Okay.
And that was about women's right to vote.
That was not the only thing.
That's the original suffrage movement.
Equal pay also.
No. Those came later.
Owning property also.
Those came later.
No, why are you focusing on the one that you want to focus on?
I'm starting at the origins.
Okay. Going from the start.
I'm starting with the origins because it's where it started. So the sidelining of the feminist movement by the abolition movement, right, pitted them against one another. The women's suffrage movement only included white women. So the owners of land, the owners of property, the educated class, the elite, right? Their wives led that movement because they wanted more rights within their own household and more rights to determine their own lives, right? So that's where the movement originated. It would take another 106 years, right, from the time that the suffrage movement was established at Seneca Falls, right, in 1869, with Frederick Douglass in attendance, a very prominent abolitionist and one of the allies of Abraham Lincoln, even 8th Avenue in Harlem and Manhattan is named after Frederick Douglass. So when they were pushed aside from the right to vote, they then decided to make their plea more urgent than the abolition movement. The abolition movement wasn't just about abolishing slavery. It was abolishing a system which treated Black people or the enslaved class as subhuman. So they wanted human rights as well. And it would take another 100 years, right, or 99 years from the time that the Civil War ended to the passing of the Civil Rights Act. Now, the Civil Rights Act gave Black people, minorities, and other groups additional rights as well. Women benefited from that. When the abolition of slavery happened, right, Black people couldn't be kept as property anymore. And therefore, there needed to be another way to protect the elite classes' women. And that's why the suffrage movement was then supported by the elite classes' male figures, right? And therefore, you can see that the suffrage movement was about usurping the rights of Black men in particular, or Black people in general, right? So was the civil rights movement a leapfrog for women's rights to the benefit of white women. And that has also eventually culminated some 60 or so odd years later, or maybe let's say 55 years later, right? In DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which has been a way to include minorities. And guess who is also regarded as a minority? White women. So throughout all of these movements, each and every single one of these movements has always been about putting the rights of white women ahead of all the other subjugated classes. And that is the real reason for the suffrage movement, for universal suffrage also being extended to Black people as well as a concept, because now that you've given white women suffrage, at least give Black men suffrage, you know what I mean? So that they can be the heads of their Black households now that you're allowing them to be people and to have families.
Okay. I want to pause. Wait.
First
Okay.
of all,
I want to give you this time. Ne?
shout out to him for breaking that down, because I think most women, when they talk about feminism, they talk about two things. We need jobs and we need to get paid and we need rights, the same rights as men. Even in 2026, when we know both men and women have the same rights, and their rights actually women have that men don't have. And some of you are going to ask, oh, Boogie, which rights do women have that men don't have? I don't have the right to go and accuse a random woman on the street for doing SA on me, but she has every right to do it on me, and I can lose my job the same day, even before I'm found guilty. So that's a right. I call that a right, in my opinion.
Mhm.
You're not only going to respond to Nota, but you are also going to lecture us. So we are yours.
Yeah.
Singabako.
I think not to mentioning that. What's in?
You don't know that
You
guy.
didn't get it.
Okay.
He's the spokesperson of correctional services.
No, Miguel.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Miguel.
So Nasa spoke about how the feminist movement or the feminism movement supports white women. 100% correct. But now, can you only imagine how bad it is for Black women, because they have to suffer gender oppression and they have to suffer from racial oppression. So you may say that, oh, okay, this was just a white woman thing and whatever you may say, but it benefited Black women because now Black women are in a position where they're able to have access to a lot of things and they are not receiving oppression as they were. So if you may think of, or we may use apartheid as an example, apartheid hit very hard on the Black community, but it hit harder on Black women because Black women, okay, how so? Because
Yeah, exactly. That's a good question. How did it benefit Black women if it literally broke up the Black family? Because they put the Black man out of the house so they can get government support. That doesn't make sense.
Black women were only allowed to work domestic jobs.
Nice and easy, comfortable.
Nice and easy.
In
That's
a
not what we
household.
wanted, though. That's why we fight for gender equality, because
That's why
we
you
do not
fought so
feel
that
like,
your husbands could be brought up from kilometers under the belly of the earth.
because we don't feel like the only time a woman is good is for the kitchen or to take care of babies.
I understand, but when a
Yes.
man is now stuck underground
And
to
let's
dig up
just
the
use,
gold
let me
that he
just
will
use the
never
simple,
ever wear.
you know, when women are given access to things, they don't take it for granted. For
They do.
example, let's look at the matric pass rates.
Mhm.
How many more females pass more than males?
Yeah, it's because now they can pass with mass literacy.
No, it's not. Even men
Let
can
me
pass
tell
with
you-
mass
let me tell you
literacy. Why
something.
aren't they passing?
Okay, why are
so my
60
point
why,
is
hold on,
women.
why are 60%,
I'm not done talking.
60%
So
of the
my
STEM
point is
students
women
are
fought
women,
for
but
equality,
only
and are we
34%
using what
pass.
we're fighting for?
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Continue.
Thank you.
No. I just want to get you that stat.
I'm not
60%
done.
of
So
the
you
STEM
respond
students,
when
hold
I'm
on,
done.
60% of the STEM students are women. Out of the ones that pass, only 34% are women. So they start with a cohort of 60%, right? But when it comes to now finishing their STEM science or STEM field qualifications, right? 76% or 66% of those that pass are men, even though they only make up 40% of the candidacy cohort.
Okay, it's fine. Nota has responded, but continue.
So my point is, feminism did make a huge impact in the world because women have access to education and they're using that very wisely. That's why we have more women who are educated in this country. And even though
With
women
maths
have
lit.
access, it's fine with maths lit. Women have access to jobs, but those jobs are low paying, meaning that the feminist movement still needs to proceed. And maybe in the next 10 years, women will be respected for their qualifications, because we're still in a society where women are not respected, even though they study nursing,
That's not
even though
true.
they study
I
teaching.
mean, choosing
because
nursing
they
and
know,
wanting to be highly paid.
Because they know, yes,
I mean, like, why don't you
nurses
become a
work
doctor?
hard.
Just for reference, guys, these two are from South Africa. But if they sound like they're from America, that's because their similarities, they went through apartheid and things like that. So if you hear the references and the way they're speaking, you may think they talk about America. There's a little bit of America in there because that's where feminism started, but they're in South Africa.
But doctors earn more.
Doctors earn more.
Yes, but it's harder
Very brilliant.
It's harder
as
to
a
go to
black
school and
woman. It's
qualify as a
actually
doctor.
harder to be accepted in universities for.
How?
Okay, let's
It's
check
easier,
that.
actually.
Yes,
Yes, it's easier. It's much easier.
Okay.
Let's check the statistics.
Okay. We are deviating.
Check them.
Guys. We are deviating.
We're deviating because he doesn't want to let me talk.
Target my singing now. We are protect. We are protected. Okay. Listen, I want you to finish, so we can now, because I've got questions for both of you.
Okay, so my point is the feminism movement should proceed, and it's doing very well for the economy because now we have black women who are educated, we have black women who are in
Student
high
loan debt.
position jobs. You know what I'm trying to say? Now,
Lovely.
yes, lovely.
You know what you didn't say? You didn't say you have black women that are happy.
Yes, we have.
Tell me black women are happy.
I think they're
Tell me
very.
they're happy.
There's a
Tell me they're
significant.
happy.
There's
Let me tell you
a
something.
huge.
Let me tell you
There's a
something. Hold on.
majority number of
You've
black
never
women
seen-
who are happy.
You've never seen a black woman on TikTok, right? In a taxi crying. But show me the ones in cars.
because they are.
You don't see them crying in a taxi. But
Oh well, because they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice.
I'm just
So
saying.
are you trying to say
They have
that
a
black
choice.
women need to be in taxis and black women need
be
to
happy,
they need to
maybe.
be so black women need poverty to be happy?
No, they need a driver. They don't need to be driving themselves.
Okay. All right.
I got it.
All right. So, okay, guys, I just need you guys to answer me on this specific question.
Yes.
2 minutes each.
Yeah.
Is up to so far, based on what you have presented, based on what you have presented,
Yes.
not what you will present,
Yes.
is feminism a good thing or not?
It's
Yes.
a terrible thing.
I'm coming to you.
And he should give
And
us
I'll
a
tell you why.
reason why
And
it's
I'll
terrible.
tell you why.
Let's see.
And
I'll-
I know,
I'll give you only one
I'm
reason.
coming to you. I'm coming to
Sorry.
you. I'll give you enough time. Nota.
Feminism is a bad thing.
Nota.
Yes.
Based on
give me
what
2
we
minutes,
have,
right?
based on yes.
Yes.
No.
I've got
I'll still gonna give you a comeback. So
Yeah. Based on what we've submitted, yes.
so I wanna be fair to you. So answer me the question. Based on what we have had so far, do you think, based on what you have presented so far, do you think feminism is a good or bad thing?
Okay, I'll take it from what she has said and show you why it's a bad thing, right? She spoke about a gender pay gap, right? The gender pay gap is a complete lie. It's a complete fallacy. And guess
It's
who
not a
created? No,
complete
I'll
lie.
tell you why.
Okay.
Guess who created that fallacy? Feminism created that fallacy. Why did they create that fallacy, right? Because they've got nothing tangible to actually show that feminism is a good thing. Why is the gender pay gap a lie? Because the only reason that there is a gender pay gap is that the highest paid people in all of society are married men.
Men
Those
in
are-
general.
No, married men.
It's still men.
No. Married men earn the most, right? Then women earn.
They work
So in
more.
an interview or
unmarried
CV, they
men,
ask
single
you,
men
are you
earn the
married?
least. Do you understand
Okay,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
coming to you. I'll give you a time.
Now, she said that you should pay men and women equally. The reason why that is foolish is because women don't have the expectation to provide for families. And
Exactly.
if you pay a man and a woman equally, right, the woman's income will benefit her. The man's income will benefit his family. How do we prove this, right?
They say it every
Let
day.
me show you in a simple way, right? When a woman goes up in life, she seeks independence.
From a
When a
man.
man goes up in life, he seeks legacy.
To provide.
He wants a family.
Okay.
He wants children. He wants people that will depend on him. When a woman makes it in life, again, I will repeat so that you get my point. She wants independence.
Okay. Hold on.
Independence from who? Independent from who? From men. The same man. She wants independence from the same man. Yet she wants the man to pay 100% of the bills. She will make good money, but still says she doesn't want a man. She doesn't need a man. But if she meets a man, she wants the man to pay her bills. But you just told me you're independent. At the same time, honestly, I don't believe in paying everybody the same. If a woman has more skills than me, I want her to be paid what she's worth. I want her to be paid even more than me. You know why? Because that will motivate me to get the same skills as her so I can get paid what she's being paid. So I don't want everybody to be paid just because they're a woman, just because they're a man. People should be paid based on their skills and the value they bring to the company.
Yeah, you deep in your thoughts. I understand. Here's your chance.
Is feminism
a good or bad thing? Now, please, I want to emphasize, based on what have been presented so far, not what you will present.
Yeah, it's absolutely 100% a good thing. It promotes equality. It protects women against violence. It empowers people in general. So, in my opinion, feminism is a very good thing.
Women?
Do you want to add anything?
No.
Okay, it's fine. Not how you said
people in general or women. And the last time I checked, you don't need feminism to be protected. If you have a police force, you have a military, if you have your brothers, if you have your friends, if you have your dad, as a woman, that is, you don't need feminism for that. Matter of fact, if a man is walking on the street and sees a woman being attacked by another man, 99% chance the man is going to step in to help the woman, even if he doesn't know the woman. That has nothing to do with feminism.
Quite a number of things, eh? You know what Nota says. I want you to respond to Nota, and please help me here. I want to make sense of what he said. He says that look, the hierarchy of things is that married men and the highest earners. Second, women. Third, single what men?
Single men.
So. Tell me something. Do you have a problem with this? Because for me,
I don't think.
I'll give you the chance. Do you have a problem with this, or do you think it's a good or bad idea? You know why? Because I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, here you've got married men. That means there are people he's got dependency.
A wife dependent on him.
And children.
A woman.
Okay. All right. So he's got dependency. Then women. These women, Nota did not classify or not necessarily give us details whether they are single or married. It's just that married men and then women and then single men. You understand? So we have the clear identity of the two, except this bracket, the women. So do you think it's a good or bad idea? He will clarify whether the ones in the middle are single or independent women, or who are single or married.
I don't believe there is any company where you are being interviewed for a job. They ask you, are you a married man?
Yes, they do. Every company. Yes.
Oh, okay, brilliant. I don't think that affects.
They do ask you because married men tend to work longer hours because they got a family to provide for. And then number two, married men tend to stay longer on the job because a single man who doesn't have kids, who doesn't have any responsibility, if he doesn't like something, he will just leave the job and find a new job. But a married man tends to have more stability in terms of staying longer on the job because he got rent, mortgage, kids, so they usually don't just dump the job and move on.
That affects whether you get a job.
It shouldn't affect your pay. It shouldn't affect your pay. And actually, as feminists, women fight for equality so that a man does not have to be a provider, so that women can provide for themselves. So women can provide for themselves. So they can provide for themselves and their children. Their children.
Wait, Nota. Wait, we are protected, Kim. We are on the platform to continue speaking until you're done.
So I was saying that if women, or the reason women are fighting for equality so that they don't have to be dependent on a man, so that they can have their own paycheck, so that if Unota, for example, as the head of the household, says, baby, I'm stressed this month, this is happening, then I can say, no, don't worry, I have your back. Recently, Ubuntle Mudisela and Pretty Ugly were on Altita's podcast.
Interview.
Yes, and they were talking about, and I 100% agree with her because they are so. I'm not done talking. Okay. Please give me an opportunity to talk.
Okay.
So when you look at women like her, isn't she in such a happy relationship? Because she doesn't care what society says. She works hard for her money and he works hard, and she knows that. She said something about it being seasonal. She said that this month or this term of our life or this phase of our life, I can be the provider in the house and I don't mind that. You know, that's why we're fighting for 50-50, because I feel like if a woman is fighting for equality, she shouldn't mind having to pay the bills. And she said that, and they're in such a happy relationship. And
wow.
Yeah, but majority of women want 50-50 in terms of getting paid. They don't want 50-50 in terms of paying bills in a relationship. Matter of fact, they say if a man makes the same money as them, that's not a good man. The man should be making more because they don't want a man on their level. They claim they want a man on their level, but they usually want the man to make the money and make his money and spend it on her because a man should provide, like they say. So she's lying. She doesn't even know what she's talking about.
quite interesting. She shouldn't mind paying the bill.
Yes.
Just there, but continue.
Okay.
continue.
Yes. And then Pretty Ugly is just sitting there and he's just agreeing with his wife. He's just happy because he knows that he begged a 100% good wife, because when he's low, she's up for him. And that's what feminists should be fighting for.
Okay, I like the ending. You said that's what feminism should be fighting for.
Yeah.
I like that. But wait, no.
Yeah.
She said that at the end, she said that's what feminism should be fighting for.
I want to
How
respond
many
to it
women?
first. I
How
want to
many
respond to it
women who gain independency
first.
and then behaved the exact same way Bontle is behaving?
Very
What?
few.
No. I want Nota to
Okay.
answer me that.
Okay.
Answer
let
that question
let
for
me
me.
give you a background on Buntle. Buntle has got 4.3 million followers on Instagram. Right? Does the average South African woman have 4.3 million followers on Instagram?
No.
What percentage of South African women have got more than 1 million followers on Instagram out of all the women?
I don't know.
Let's just say there's 35 or 34, 33 million women in South Africa, right? There's a handful of them. You understand? It's not even 1/100%, right? So she is a complete anomaly. And when someone is a complete anomaly, you cannot now ascribe the things that they are doing or saying
Yep.
to normal people or the
Why?
average person,
Why?
because they're a complete anomaly. You understand? Another thing is that Buntle's got a hero origin story. Right? Is it a hero origin or a villain? I don't know. Hero origin story. Her father committed suicide. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this is a child that lost the only man that loved her unconditionally from the moment she was born, right? To something as tragic as suicide. Her relationship with the next father figure that comes into her life, which would be her husband, right? That's the chosen father figure that she will now bring into her life, cannot be seen as any normal relationship because she's got past traumas, right, that dictate to how she would treat this man. Now, I think the last thing that she would want is the same fate that befell her own father to befall her husband because he's too stressed or etc., etc. He's got financial pressures and everyone else. So she comes from a very unique situation that gave her the perspective that she has right
She
now.
actually said that she looks up to her mother because her mother had to do everything and be a hero for
Without her father
without
being
her father.
And now,
So we could, I think what we can say about Ubuntu is that most young black women should actually try to be like her, because then
No.
they're
I don't think that one should lose their father as a
This
mark
has
of
nothing
honor.
to. This
It
has nothing to
everything
do with that. It has
with
everything
that.
to
She
do
is
with the
proud
type of
her
woman
mother
she
being
is.
able to survive
But-
a husband that took his own
And
life.
I think her
right?
daughter is going to be proud that my mom is
now let me
Buntle
continue
Mudisela.
before you get completely into my mouth, right?
Okay.
Now, she does not want the same fate that befell her mother to befall her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Who knows the guilt that her mother felt as well, that her parents weren't able, or her and her partner weren't able to resolve things. He wasn't able to get things together. You understand what I'm saying? Who knows the untold trauma of discovering your father having killed himself as a child, thinking that your father loves you more than anything in this world, yet he didn't want to continue life and be there with you. He's not there to walk you down the aisle. All of those things, the milestones that she's missed. She comes from a very unique position, and I think we should congratulate her for overcoming all the traumas that she has had in her life. Now, let's talk about Ricky.
That's very true. I think it's very important as people get together to really ask about where somebody comes from. Because I think sometimes people forget that when you get into a relationship, marriage, whatever the situation is, into someone, you're not just getting into a relationship with just them. You're getting into a relationship with whatever trauma they have, whatever baggage they have, their family members, their friends. You're getting into a relationship with all those people. You know why? Because those people influence the way they think and the way they behave. So if they have trauma they haven't worked on, or if they come from a crazy background, that's going to affect you. Because whoever you get with, man or woman, they're going to influence you in some way.